Hello, everyone, and welcome. Excuse me. Welcome to 4 Deep Sports Talk here at 1320 AM WARA, live in Attleboro, Massachusetts. You can call us at 508-222-1320. That is 508-222-1320. I am Catherine Conley, aka KC, with Justin Ferreira, aka the Sportsmaster, and Joe Celia. It's a youngster group today. Dom and Lucy are both on assignment.
Both on assignment. So last week we discussed football for the high school playoffs, and it's coming down to the wire. Last week we covered the Sweet 16. Now we're going to be talking about the state quarterfinals. Before we get into that, last week we talked about how beautiful the weather has been.
Oh, yeah.
Any teams that are playing today, you're in for a treat with the lovely weather. It was pretty rainy last night, so
it was raining cats and dogs this morning.
Really?
It's a result of another hurricane that's down in Florida. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyone going to Florida, coming back from Florida, safe travels. It's beautiful weather up here.
I can just say, I felt like I was dripping sweat, when I was at work today.
Oh, I bet. Humidity and everything. And it's November.
Yeah, I had to take my sweater off and everything.
So as I said, we covered high school sports last week. For football. We saw a lot of blowouts last week. I think that was a lot because the competition was not as, how do I put it? It wasn't as close as one would expect. You saw a 1 seed facing a 16 seed. But this week we saw actually a couple more closer games, and that's what we like to see, especially with high school sports, and not just football and soccer, hockey, basketball. So we can get right into it for the football from last night. KC, did you want to get the football?
I got the music.
You got the music?
Ready.
Perfect. You all ready?
Yeah.
We could get the football scores for you last night. So this was last night on November 11th, Veterans Day. Last night we saw the Franklin football team defeated Methuen by a score of 28-24. Franklin had defeated Weymouth last week 36-6, and Methuen had defeated Brockton 37-34. So it was a close game for Methuen for 2 games in a row. So they edged them out. It was looked like it was a real close game. And then we saw Springfield Central, I should say, defeated Xaverian Brothers by a score of 56-22. So high-scoring game on the Springfield side. On the other side, we saw Andover defeated St. John's Prep by a score of 48-14. Actually, no. My mistake. St. John's Prep defeated Andover 48-14. And then we saw Central Catholic shut out Everett 21-0. So real closer games, 28-25 being the closest of those ones. I know our sports master here has always emphasized, we want closer games. We want more competitiveness, especially in these games.
Yeah, it all makes it more entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. So so that was for Division 1. The game there are 2 games in specific that we wanted to get into. The first game being the Methuen versus Franklin game. Methuen had defeated Franklin 28-25, so it was a close game for them. Their quarterback, Drew Eason, had himself a game last night, especially against this team. They were trailing 24-21 with time running down. Eason had just led the Methuen football team 75 yards down the field to the 2-yard line when he dropped a low snap on what was supposed to be a second and goal pass play to the end zone. The play broke, but Eason picked the ball right when it took off, but he saw an opening, so rather than throw the ball, he decided to run to the end zone and just kept on running. Moments later, Methuen was celebrating a 28-24 win over the top-seeded Franklin, which avenged last year's playoff loss into their first state semifinal since the 1992 Super Bowl season. Easton was interviewed after the game, stating, "This win means everything." He was ecstatic about the win. I mean, anyone could be ecstatic after a win like that. Our friend Sportsmaster, if he would want to, cover the rest of the game, just so you don't have to hear me mumbling the entire time. So I was on about the second, a little after what I'd highlighted.
Right here?
Yep.
Okay. So the Rangers took a 2-yard Shane Easton with 5:35 to play in the fourth quarter and tracked on for a more Drew Easton to Matt McCormick pass. But from there, Franklin scored twice in an 18-second span. First on a 35-yard touchdown pass from Josh Williams to Luke Davis, and then moments later took on a 21-yard pick six by Davis to make it 14-8.
Pick six. There we go.
The Panthers added a 30-yard field goal by kicker Garrett Hostries to make it 17 unanswered points midway through the third quarter, and by this point, the Rangers seemed to be spinning their wheels. But then the game flipped in an instant with Shane Easton broke free from a 72-yard touchdown, making it 17-15 heading into the fourth quarter.
72-yard touchdown, wow.
Very impressive. But Hunyu took the lead with 8:34 to play when Drew Easton hit Shane Easton for a 5-yard touchdown to cap off a 13-play, 73-yard drive. The subsequent two-point attempt failed, leaving it 21-17. And on Franklin's ensuring position, the Panthers kept handing it off to back Michael David. The junior carried the ball on 8 consecutive plays for 35 yards, facing 4 Franklin went into the air as quarterback Josh Lennons hit Derek Duxby for a brilliant 24-yard touchdown strike to retake the lead 24-21.
There we go.
Dang.
Yeah. Close. Casey, you have anything to add? I know we had mentioned we like close games, we like competitiveness. We saw lots of blowouts last week.
Oh yeah, there's this one blowout game that I wanted to mention. So I'm actually just gonna change the music back to the other.
I think we saw like a 56-0 last week or something like that.
That was
Yeah, I think it was Oliver
that
Ames
was
or something like that.
That was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
In the round of 16.
Yikes.
Yeah. So in the state quarterfinals. So I'm just gonna read out the 4 scores there. So
Is that Division
3?
3? All right.
Oh, did we already go over Division 2?
We're still on 1.
We're still on 1 right now.
Oh.
Listening to us mumbling and on and on and on. How are we doing on time?
We have 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Okay, so just a little bracket notes from this tournament bracket. Franklin was the number 1 seed who got upset. They had finished 5-2 on the season. They were upset by Methuen, who were 6-2. So interesting how they were the 8 seed versus the 1 seed, but they had a bigger record. Sometimes the seeding, I've noticed, it's a little odd and weird how they're set up with playoff seeding. How some teams, like Everett, only had 1 loss on their regular season, but they were the 11 seed. And yet a team like Taunton was the 6 seed, and they had 3 losses. So it's a little confusing how that all adds up. But Springfield Cathedral had defeated Shrewsbury 60-14 last week, and they tacked on another 56 points. So they've put up, I think I'm doing my math right, I think that's 106 points through 2 weeks of playoff football. So Springfield Central is going to have their hands full against Methuen, who had edged out Brockton and edged out Franklin. And St. John's Prep had defeated, same thing with St. John's Prep putting up a lot of points. Beat Attleboro last week 46-6, and against Andover, that was another 48 points for them. So we are still seeing high scoring, especially in these high school football playoffs. And then Central Catholic, their defense has really been stepping up. They've only allowed 14 points throughout the first 2 weeks of the playoffs, shutting out Everett 21-0. Everett had defeated Taunton last week in an upset 33-14 win. So it's been very interesting. This was for Division 1 of these playoffs. When we will be back for Division after the first break, we will go over one more game from Division 1, and then we'll go to Divisions 2 and 3.
We only have 50 seconds left.
Okay, that's fine. So, yeah, when there are 8 divisions that we'll be covering today, same thing what we did last week. I'm just quickly looking through these. Like I said, a lot of closer games what we saw from last week. And some games still have to be played. Just like example, Cardinal Spellman and Blackstone Valley still have to face today. And there was one other one I thought I saw that another game had to be played today. We'll find it. And you're listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk. I am Joseph Celia, aka I feel like I need my own nickname, JC.
I'm pretty sure it was JC.
Yeah, JC.
Can't think of any other nicknames.
And you are listening. I am JC. We have our sports master Justin Ferreira, and we have our
KC. As in KC and the Sunshine Band. All right, so we'll be right back with more right after these messages.
Okay. Well, like you've been able to hear me?
I think so, yeah.
All right, perfect.
Want to take it?
Sure. Hello. This is JC from 4 Deep Sports Talk. We are talking high school football. I am here, JC, with our sports master, Justin Ferreira, and then working the board today.
Catherine Conley, a.k.a. Casey.
A.k.a. KC.
A lot of my friends from high school still call me that to this day.
Yeah, high school, especially high school nicknames, they stick.
Yeah.
So we quickly wanted to go over one more Division I game, and then our sports master, Justin Ferreira, is going to handle Division II and cover one Division II game. So in the Central Catholic and Everett football game, we saw they defeated them 21-0. Central Catholic. They had, and these all these articles they'll be coming from the Patriot Ledger, courtesy of the Patriot Ledger. So in this game, Central Catholic had defeated them, as I said, 21-0. It was stated that you can say Everett High and football in the same sentence, and the vast majority of Massachusetts high school football teams run for cover, but Central Catholic has been stated that they are the kryptonite of Everett. So over the last decade, they've met 7 times in the postseason action. 7 times. That's crazy.
What are the odds of that?
I know. Out of those 7 times, Central Catholic had defeated Everett 5 times out of the 7, and now make that 6 of the last 8. Central Catholic defeated them the last time Everett was shut out, and that was 71 games ago in 2015 by Central Catholic, 7-0. It wasn't indicative of what could have happened, though. Everett had the ball inside the Central's 20-yard line on 3 different occasions. A few times they got their way there at ease. But if it wasn't for penalties, a few poorly run plays, and a fumble from the running back, the game might have been a lot closer. The Everett head coach was interviewed after the game saying, their Everett head coach, Robert DiLoretto, saying, quote, "We had our chances, but we committed a few bad penalties, a fumble, and if you do those things against Central Catholic, you're probably in trouble." Everett has won 10 championships since the turn of the century. It hasn't copped their top honor since 2017. And their nemesis, even when they're winning championships, was Central. They're a tough team, said their coach, DiLoretto. They come at you. We've always respected Central Catholic. You have to really play well to beat them. And I go back to what I said. They are tough. But Central wasn't perfect either in the first 12 minutes. A long kickoff return to open the game and an 11-yard punt set up 2 long drives by Everett, but Central had survived both. There's one key play, and that was Central Catholic's Marcus Rivera, who punched the ball out when it appeared Everett was about to score the game's first touchdown in the second quarter. The ball went back out of the end zone and gave it back to Central. So it was a heartbreaking loss, especially for Everett, who had just defeated Taunton last week, 33-14. So that's what we had for Division I, and our sports master will now hand off to Division II.
Okay, for Division II, Milford defeated Mansfield 27-21. Prior to that, Milford beat Concord Carlis 42-13, and Mansfield beat Wesley 42-26. And for the state quarterfinals, King Philip beat Marshfield 17-13. And prior to that, King Philip beat Westford Academy 49-6, and Marshfield beat Woburn 48-20. Now, on the opposite, whereas that game was a close one, this is the opposite one. This is a team getting crushed. Bishop Feeham beat Reading Memorial 48-6.
48-6, wow. Feeham's won 2 weeks in a row now. They must have.
Well, yeah. Before playing Bishop Feeham, Reading Memorial beat Lomster 51-44.
Oh, so complete opposite game.
Yeah, and the opposite too. So Peabody beat Bishop Feeham 49-28.
There you go.
So that's weird when like
Yeah.
the team opposite's result, but then when they finally play against each other, it's the different outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. And our sports master has some results from one specific game in Division Two.
Yes, this is from Marshfield versus King Philip. Friday's result was not the ending that Marshfield High School football team wanted. A 17-13 loss to number 2 King Philip in the Division II quarterfinals. But rewind to 2 months ago, and it's an impressive finish that was hard to imagine for a team that was rebuilding on the fly after graduating a hugely impactful senior class and starting 0-2. Going 0-2 is never good, said Marshfield quarterback Anthony Molinder. We weren't really confident in the first 2 games, but we saw the potential we had in the second half of that second loss, 38-28 to Millionaire. We knew we were a good team, but we had some good games this year. I'm really proud of this team. On Friday, the number 7 Rams 7-3 had its whole task of trying to upend one of the state's top-ranked teams. Marshfield had the Warriors on upset alert after leading much of that way, but KP's Rudy Gurley scored the winning touchdown, 1-yard run with 1:51 remaining. I'm flattered to be part of a team that plays hard, said Marshfield head coach Chris Akrana. The senior class just kept working. I think they just knew that if they kept working and pressing that they'd be where they want to be. Unfortunately, we just came up short.
Mm.
After averaging 21 points in their first 2 games, the Rams rose that average to 35 points per game during a 7-game winning streak. Friday's game went opposite to the Rams season as Marshfield jumped out early. The Rams opened with a 4-play drive in the first 2 minutes of play. Molinder capped the drive with a 11-yard touchdown to take the lead 7-0 in the first quarter. We're a really big tempo team, said Molinder. We get right up to the line and run a play to tie up as fast as we can. That's really how we've been able to stay these games, starting off 0-2. Star quarterbacks on full display as Duxbury High football defeats Middleborough in quarterfinals. Marshfield's next scoring drive was also a quick one. The Rams scored in just two plays thanks to an 87-yard touchdown pass from Molinder to Charlie Curl to take back the lead 13-7 with 3:03 remaining in the second quarter. That was Marshfield's final score of the day. He kicked a field goal before halftime to trim the difficult to 13-10. A big reason for Marshfield's turnaround was the defense. After giving up 71 points in the first 2 games, the Rams held the opponents to 11.2 points per game down the stretch.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. How are we doing on time?
About 3 minutes left.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think I can finish the rest of the story
perfect.
by then.
Perfect.
A big reason for Marshfield's turnaround was the defense. Oh, no, I already read that. The postseason was no different. Marshfield's Kyle Scholitz had an interception against KP as Marshfield held the Warriors to one of their lowest point totals of the season. Sean MacArthur, Chris Scott, Teddy Stevens, Jake Ekstrom were awesome, said on his front four. I can't believe how well they played, and for us not to score enough points right there is pretty upsetting. And True played both sides of the ball. He's just a baller, said Molinder on his defense teammates. Shout out Joe Kerr and John McAlpin, just guys that shocked us this year on how well they did. McParlin, a junior, played well in the defense and was a standout to the teams. Honestly, it's just about keep lifting each other after bad plays, said McConaughey. We made bad plays, but it doesn't matter because we fought back. Make key reads, listen to coaches, and trusting the guys next to you. That's what we did all season. We have great coaches in this program, and I think next year we're going to do some good stuff.
Here we go.
And that's your story on Marshfield versus King Philip.
Yeah, insightful. Did a nice job. How we doing?
Minute 30.
Perfect. So after this next break, we will Casey will be covering Division III football, and there's one game in particular that she wanted to inform our listeners about. So yeah, we've been seeing a lot of it's been an interesting playoff format, and these games I believe can be streamed through like YouTube and other websites to be able to watch them if you're not able to. I mean, no one's able to drive from game to game, every single one, to watch all of them. But yeah, so she will be covering Division 3, and then Divisions 4 through 8 will also be covered throughout the rest of the program.
And please, if you want to call in, 508-222-1320 is the number. Let me repeat that. That is 508-222-1320. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which would be 4 Deep Sports Talk. That's the name of the channel.
Awesome.
And you can check out our Facebook page too, where we post other highlights as well.
So you were listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk. Please give us a call. We would love to hear your input or insights on these games.
We will be right back with more right after these messages. Oh, as I pause the game, then we'll be right back. Hey everyone, welcome back to 4 Deep Sports Talk here at 1320 AM WARA. You can call us at 508-222-1320. That is 508-222-1320. And you can also check out our YouTube channel as well. So we are continuing on with me actually covering Division 3 quarterfinals.
Division 3 football playoffs.
So as I
Hype up that music and make it super official for our listeners. There we go.
Okay, so in the state quarterfinals, we have Rockland. Oh, never mind, everyone. I'm in the wrong division. So sorry.
You got Division 3?
Yep.
Ah, perfect.
All right, so North Attleboro beats Billerica with a score of 34-6, and Wakefield beats Plymouth South with a 10-point win, which was 24-14, and Milton beats Marblehead 24-20, and Hanover beats Walpole with the score of 40-37. And
Who will they be facing next?
Milton will be facing Hanover. The game time and date is to be determined. And North Attleboro will be facing Wakefield. Game time, date, and time will be to be determined.
To be determined.
Yeah, so I wanted to this first game I wanted to like mention North Attleboro over Billerica, which would be 34-6.
Right.
Should be another blowout from my alma mater. And Nathan Scholes set the tone on opening kickoff. He was sprinting through a hole down the left sideline. Excuse me. He was sprinting through a hole down the left sideline and outracing every Billerica defender for 84-yard return.
Oh, wow.
14 seconds into the game.
Setting the tone early.
Yeah. The point after from Austin Clemente gave the number 2 Red Rocketeers all the points they would need in the quarterfinal win. Schultz later added scoring runs of 30 and 4 yards. And Greg Berthawamy, forgive me if I pronounced that wrong, he punched in a pair of touchdown rushes. North Attleboro limited a prolific Billerica offense to under 100 yards. Yeah, and the only score from Billerica was from Scott Inarson, a 6-yard run, but unfortunately the extra point was no good. Yeah, and that's the highlights from the North Attleboro Billerica game.
Nice. Our KC also had highlights from one of the games, and it's a lot of info on it.
Yeah.
You don't have to do all of it if you don't want to. It's just a skim and inform you guys.
Yeah, so the 8th seed Marblehead stuffed the Wildcats into a 13-point hole in the second quarter Friday night, but the top-seeded hosts responded like the champions they aspired to be. When down 20-7, Milton blanked the Magicians over the final 28 minutes and leaned on stars such as Jack Finnegan, Owen McHugh, and Michael Fulton to claw their way back for a 24-20 comfort from behind win in the Division III quarterfinals. So Milton, which they were undefeated 9-0 this season, will meet number 4 Hanover with their record of 8-2 in a neutral site semifinal that promises plenty of firepower. Since a week 1 loss at still unbeaten Duxbury, the Hawks are averaging 38.4 points per game and are coming off a 40-37 shootout win over number 5 Walpole. The Wildcats, with McHugh at quarterback, are averaging 35.3 points. Excuse me. Having gotten their offense going after a sluggish start against Marblehead, the defending state champ. It should be a good one. And the Milton head coach, Steve Dombrowski, commented, "They pass the ball and run the ball well, and they're super aggressive. Walpole is an outstanding football team. We know it's going to be a battle." So there's just going to be one more page I'm going to read.
Yeah.
This one certainly wasn't a breeze. In fact, the first half adversity was uncharted territory for the Wildcats, who had trailed only 3 times all season. They were down 7-0 to Situate in the first quarter in week 1 and won 33-26. They were down 7-0 to Needham in the first quarter in week 6 and won 41-7. and they were down 7-0 to Minnetonka in the first quarter in last week's playoff opener and won 46-21. So yeah, this was a little different. All right. Eddie Johns' 9-yard touchdown run with 4:38 left in the first quarter staked Marblehead to a 7-0 lead. Milton matched that as Finnegan capped a 13-play, 70-yard drive that bridged the first and second quarter with a 6-yard scoring run. He kicked the extra point for a 7-7 tie. Then it was all Marblehead for a while, as the Magicians used an interception to set up Johns' 1-yard run for a 14-7 lead, and a third down sack to set the stage for a 52-yard touchdown pass from Miles O'Neill to Xander Danforth for a 20-7 lead. The PAT was blocked with 4:16 left in the first half. Suddenly, the Wildcats were staggering. That they didn't fall was a great sign for a team that came into the game with an absurd point differential of plus 200. 294 points for 94 points against.
Wow.
Yeah. Finnegan commented, "It feels amazing." He ran 24 times for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's a great experience playing from behind and winning. Now, in the next round, we're not going to be scared if we get down, and we're going to keep fighting. All right, that's it for me.
Did you have did I give one of you the Division 4?
Yes, I have it.
All right, perfect. Did you want to start read? So the Smart Sportsmaster, if you want me to read them, or do you want to read them?
No, I'm good. I can do it.
Perfect.
All right. Okay.
Division 4.
Division 4. We have Duxbury defeated Middleborough 62-41. Before that, Duxbury beat Newburyport 50-10. Holliston beat Situate 35-25, and before that, Holliston beat Melrose 25-14, and Grafton beat Marlborough 31-14. Before that, Grafton beat Falmouth 31-0.
31-0.
They're just on fire.
Another shutout.
Foxborough beat Bedford 21-14, and before that, Bedford beat South High Community 36-6, and Foxborough beat Pembroke 24-21.
Who will they be facing next week? For Division 4. In the Final Four. Right here.
Was this
under here? Division Final Four.
Next week, Duxbury versus Holston and Grafton versus Foxborough.
And those games, I'm guessing, are still to be decided.
Yeah, they're to be determined.
Nice. So yeah, we're seeing. We'll have covering the rest of divisions 5 through 8. How are we doing on?
We have about 2 minutes and 47 seconds left.
Perfect. So yeah, our so that was for Division 4. Can I see the Division 4 scores?
Yes.
Division 4. So yeah, as the Sportsmaster said, Duxbury to beat Middleborough 62-41, and Duxbury had put up 50 points from the week before, so 112 points for their first 2 weeks of the playoffs. And yeah, these are some of these are closer scores. 35-25, Holliston to Situate. It's a close, good game. Same thing with Bedford for Foxborough. That's separated by a touchdown. And so that was actually an upset alert from Foxborough to Bedford. 6 seed defeating the 3 seed. Foxborough was only 4-4 in the season, and Bedford being 7-1. So that must have been sounds Bedford's second loss of the season. So those were divisions 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I actually don't believe that from Division 1, what I had stated from before, didn't say who was playing in the Final Four. Methuen will be facing Springfield Central, and St. John's Prep will be facing Central Catholic. Those games will be played next week, my guess. We don't have details on the games just yet, but you can always look on the 4D Sports Talk Facebook page or the MIAA.net website to get details on these games. Just by looking at these games, kind of hoping Springfield Central and Central Catholic face each other, just so we can get a lot of Central. So yeah, these will be close games. The St. John's Prep being the 7 seed, Central Catholic being the 3, Methuen being the 8, and Springfield Central being the 4. So when we get back from our last break, Casey and Sportsmaster will be covering divisions 5, 6, 7, and 8. They'll just be going over the scores. I have to leave prematurely for to go on my own business as well.
We have about like 23 seconds left, so the magic numbers of this will be 508-222-1320. That's actually the phone number. That is 508-222-1320. As I pause this music, we will be right back with more right after these messages. Hey everyone, and welcome back to 4D Sports Talk here at 1320 AM WARA. You can call us at 508-222-1320. That is 508-222-1320. So it's just Justin, aka the Sportsmaster, and myself, as Joe actually leaves for his own business.
And then there were 2.
Yep.
Oh, and we got a call.
We got a call.
Let's see who it is.
Hello, caller. You are first to appear on 4D Sports Talk. Who am I speaking with?
You're speaking with Louie.
Hi, Louie. How are you?
Hi. I'm doing fantastic. I just want to tell you all that you're doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'm very impressed. I was impressed last week and the week before with these guys handling everything by yourselves. And
Thank
you're doing
you.
a fantastic job.
Thank you so much, Louie.
Yep, you bet. And I'm just wondering if there's anything that's really impressed you from the scores? Did you expect one team to outdo the other?
Well,
in
there's
those
this.
divisions.
Well, there's this one team in particular, which would be my alma mater, which is North Attleboro. Like the last 3 games, they've had like blowouts. Like the first game against Oliver Ames, they crushed them 56-0. Yeah, and the other game from I gotta find Division 3 real quick.
Yeah, there was one in that where it was like a crush score.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Bill Ricca.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, as I
guys-
mentioned before. Yeah.
And you guys had the North Attleboro coach on a couple months ago, didn't you?
No, actually, it was actually my field hockey coach.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, it was actually a blast, like having her on the show.
Yeah, I know it was. I could hear the excitement in your voice when you were on the air.
Oh yeah, like a lot of friends that actually just called in and stuff. Like
Cool.
the first time that she actually came on the show with her captains, she actually surprised me with a phone call. And as I answered, like as the person answered, and they said their name, I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, that's great. I just wanted to call to say you're doing a great job, and I look forward to seeing you every week.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much, Louie.
Very much appreciate it.
Say hi to Lucy for us.
You betcha.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye, Justin.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So that was Louis Cabral, which is Lucy's husband.
But she's not here right now.
No, unfortunately. All right.
We got to get back to where we were. So
you
I
have
just
Division 4?
I just did Division 4, and now I'm gonna go over Division 5 right now.
Okay.
And we had all right. So we have Dover Sherborne beat Hudson 20-7, but before that, Hudson beat Swampscott 41-17, and Swansea Valley Tech beat Old Rochester 27-20. So another close game here. And before that, Swansea Valley Tech beat Worcester Tech 20-6, and Old Rochester beat Fairhaven 47-19.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and for next week, Dover Sherborne is going to play Swansea Valley Tech. And we also have North Reading beat Apponequet Regional 40-0. So
Wow.
blowout. And before that, North Reading beat Denham 50-18, and Apponequet Regional beat Triton Regional 41-13, and Bishop Fenwick beat Maynard 37-13. And prior to this, Maynard beat Bishop Stang 41-13, and Bishop Fenwick beat Auburn 42-7. And next week, North Reading will be playing Bishop Fenwick.
All right, so that's Division 5?
Yep, that's Division 5.
All right, so this is Division 6, so Stoneham beat Oakmont Regional with a score of 50-23. And Rockland beats Abington 28-0. And the Cardinal Spellman versus Blackstone Valley game will be today, actually at 1 p.m. at Blackstone Valley High School. So the winner of that game will be taking on Stoneham in the Final Four. St. Mary's beat Linfield with a score of 20-6. And St. Mary's will be playing Rockland in the Final Four. The game time, date will be determined. And then on to Division 7. West Boylston beats Wakana Regional 36-6. Amesbury beats Millbury with a score of 44-7. And West Boylston will be taking on Amesbury in the Final Four. Game time and date will be determined. Cohasset beats Clinton 27-14. And St. Bernard's beats Uxbridge 20-14. Cohasset will be taking on St. Bernard's, and game time and date will be determined. And on to Division 8, Hull beats Cathedral 40-0. Wow. A lot of blowouts. And Old Colony RVT beats Manchester Essex, a very close game, which is 22-20. Hull will be taking on Old Colony RVT in the Final Four. Game time and date will be determined. Kip Academy beats Lowell Catholic 21-12. Oxford beats Murdoch 33-8. And Oxford will be taking on Kip Academy. Date, time, and will be determined. Alright, so that is it with all divisions 1 through 8. So we have 4 minutes left,
So that's the latest with all the football.
Yep. Alright, so if you want to call in 508-222-1320. That is 508-222-1320. Or you can check out our YouTube channel. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well at 4 Deep Sports Talk. And also you can check out our Facebook page, which would be 4 Deep Sports Talk as well. Excuse me as I have I almost forgot. Joe actually sent us the non-playoff games, so...
Yeah, he sent us the screenshots.
Yeah, so I'm gonna fire up the music again real quick. Alright, so this is the non-playoff scoreboard so far. Taunton beats Leominster 28-12. Attleboro beats Weymouth 32-12. Brockton beats Braintree 50-20. Wellesley beats Bridgewater Raynham 14-7. Somerset Berkeley beats Oliver Ames 37-6. Norwell beats Carver 21-0. Archbishop Williams beats Sandwich 28-7. Monomoy beats Cape Cod Tech 39-6. Dedham beats East Bridgewater 41-28. And Sharon beats Medway 27-0. West Bridgewater beats Mashpee 27-21. Dartmouth beats Silver Lake 36-14. Nauset beats Medfield 20-0. Falmouth beats Ashland 13-6. Hopkinton beats Stoughton 44-20. Blue Hills beats Linvoke Tech 24-6. So those are the non-playoff scores from this Friday night. And once again, you can call us at 508-222-1320. That is 508-222-1320. We have like a minute and a half left before we have to get off the air.
Yep.
All right. Any final thoughts?
No, I'm good. I think we got through it all very well.
I think so too. So like I said, you could check us out on our YouTube channel, which is 4 Deep Sports Talk, and we would appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel as well. Call us at 508-222-1320. That is 508-222-1320. Or you can check us out on our Facebook page as well. We have just been covering the latest in the football playoffs, like in the scores. And all right, we are actually gonna get off the air. So this has been 4 Deep Sports Talk with Justin Ferrer, aka the Sportsmaster, Joe Celia, who just left. I am Catherine Conley, aka KC. And that will do it for us. We will see you next time on 40 Sports Talk.